Howdy. So today we're going to be looking at an Ivara build with dual Toxocyst and Carnon. It is not really going to be super complicated, but I think it's a interesting way to use her. So the gist of this is that her prowl, right here, gives a headshot damage multiplier, and that multiplier is unique. So it's like Eclipse, basically, right? So it's a multiplicative damage bonus on headshots. And that scales with strength. The more strength you have, the bigger the headshot damage bonus. And on top of that, obviously, Prowl is good because you can go invis and you're basically invincible while you're invisible. So that's really nice as well. The biggest problems are the movement speed in Prowl. And well, actually, that's mostly is the movement speed Prowl. That's like the main issue here. So if you build into strength, though, you can actually put on Infiltrate, the augments. It gives her 25% movement speed during Prowl, and that scales with strength. On top of that, if you subsume Molts, if you want even more speed, it gives a speed multiplier that also is movement speed, because that's important. You cannot sprint during Prowl, so you need movement speed buffs, not sprint speed buffs, to go faster. So Molt gives a movement speed buff, which also scales with strength. It doesn't last long, unfortunately, but with how much duration we have, it's a 10.88 second duration, so it's not too bad. Then we've got Molt Augmented, Transient Fortitude, Blind Rage, Power Drift, Growing Power, Umbral Intensified, just to maximize our strength here. Crit damage. Oh yeah, so you can use... Do I not have it anymore? Oh no, it's right, yeah, I'm blind. Yeah, so you can use Dash Wire Augments. It makes it so that while you're on Dash Wire, your allies get 100% crit damage. And I do believe that scales with strength. Yes, it does. That is a good option here. That is what you would run in a camping setup, okay? So Infiltrates and Molts is better if you want to move around lots. But if you prefer to camp, you would actually switch out for Empowered Quiver, and then you could put something else as your helmet. Like, if you just wanted a way more damage, Roar Eclipse would be nice here. For what we're going with, we aren't using a damage over time setup on our weapon, so actually Eclipse would be better since it's cheaper than Roar, and it doesn't take as long to cast, but any sort of damage buff here would be nice. Nourish could also work, so you'd have Viral on your weapon. Otherwise, you're going to want to spread Viral with a pet. But right now, we are using Infiltrate so we can run around without having to sit in one spot. We have Equilibrium for the energy, of course, because Prowl does take a fair bit of energy. And Energize here is also nice for energy, but you don't need it as long as you have a good KPM, right? If you're getting enough kills and enough orbs are dropping, you won't need it, but this just gives more comfort. So we are using it with the dual Toxocyst in Carnon. And the reason this pairs so nicely is because it's made for headshots. You got the trait for bonus headshots, right? You want to get headshots with this, secondary deadhead, another headshot multiplier that's multiplicative it has on it, that 30%. And it also, unlike other weapons, so actually, it's not really actually going to show well, I don't think. I'm not sure you're actually going to be able to see it, but the dual Toxocyst in Carnon chains when you shoot enemies. And the chaining shot, unlike other chaining weapons, is actually capable of getting headshots. It doesn't always happen, but it can get headshots, which is very interesting because it will make it a lot easier to keep the headshots up, or your headshot buffs up, as well as get the bonus damage from Ivara's Prowl. As you can see, dual Toxocyst in Carnon is just way, way stronger than it realistically should be. I might as well, this will be like a Ivara / dual Toxocyst build or video, so we'll go over what dual Toxocyst does as well. Dual Toxocyst by itself is just mediocre, but the Incarnon makes it chain its shots, shoot faster, and it becomes fully automatic. Now look at this, Steel Path, 175, Corrupted Heavy Gunners. And then look at our build. Barrel Diffusion, Fire Rate Multi-Shot from here, right? Normal Barrel Diffusion, Lethal Torrent, Pistol Pestilence, Convulsion, just so we get our Corrosive. Now, it has a unique trait, Frenzy, on headshot gain, 150% fire rate, 100% ammo efficiency, and 100% toxin damage for 3 seconds. This does work in Incarnon form, but the ammo efficiency does not work in the Incarnon form. The other two effects do work. It also reduces recoil by like 80%, I think, even though it doesn't state it, so that's nice. Now, the 100% toxin damage is counted as modded. So if you wanted, you could actually run just convulsion, and after you get a headshot, it's going to go from electric to corrosive damage. Now, Ivara, like I said, the bonus headshots damage is extremely nice here for since we're getting like nothing but headshots with dual Toxocyst. It's such a headshot oriented weapon. We're always invis, so we don't die, and we run 2 shards here. Now, dual Toxocyst, another reason it pairs so nicely with Ivara is because it is mainly used as a flat damage weapon. You don't want to build it for like slash or whatever. Corrosive is the best way to build it. Ivara lacks armor strip, and in high-end content, you need armor strip. So if you run 2 corrosive shards, your weapon is going to be able to full strip, so you don't have to worry about it. And since it has such high status, like you can see the stats chance at base is 43% in the Incarnate form. It shoots super fast. You're going to be able to armor strip almost instantly. So it completely fixes the armor strip problem that Ivara has, which is very, very nice. Now, it also has some other stuff, the evolutions here we'll go over. I'm getting real lost in the sauce right now. So 33% direct damage per status type affecting the target. That works sort of like Gun CO, but the problem is it does not affect the bonus damage added to the weapon. See how it says increased damage by 60? That adds base damage. That does not work with this effect, even though it's part of the evolution. And the same holds true for Gun CO on Incarnon weapons in general. They go off the base damage of the weapon before evolutions, which is weird. Gun CO is still strong on a lot of Incarnon weapons, but it's not as good. And also the direct damage here, I'm pretty sure it does not affect the chaining effect. I could be wrong about that though, but I'm fairly certain it doesn't. So instead we go with this. It's slightly less base damage increase, 50 instead of 60, but on ability cast we get 5% multi-shot stacking up to 20 times. That has no duration, it lasts until the mission ends. So just cast 20 abilities. Casting abilities in your operator also builds this up, so you can just go into your operator and just spam an ability until it's built up and then go on with the mission. The second or third, however you see it, tree is doo-doo water, negative recoil. We don't need that. We're already getting a ton of negative recoil from the unique trait. 50% magazine holstered when, or reloaded when holstered. That's also worthless. We're always going to be in the Incarnon form, and when you exit the Incarnon form, it automatically reloads it all the way. Also, in the normal form, you have infinite ammo because the 100% ammo efficiency on headshot. So we go for reload from empty. Also, not really important. It's just there's no better options. Then finally, there is 3 punch through for 7 seconds on kill. Very important because the punch through, every enemy you hit with the shot that punches through will chain again. So if there's a group of enemies, if you shoot one enemy, no punch through, it will chain. I think 3 or 4 times. Now, if you hit an enemy with punch through and it chains and hits an enemy behind them, that one bullet will then cause twice the chaining effect. Other weapons that chain do not do this. Like Tord Incarnon punch through does not really do anything on that. It won't increase how much chaining there is. This is specifically to dual Toxocyst, so punch through is important. However, this is still a horrible evolution because we can get punch through with 1 mod on our weapon instead. And the other evolutions here are better. So on headshots, 70% toxin for 3 seconds. Also doo-doo, we're already getting 100% toxin for 3 seconds after a headshot. This is what we want. Crit chance is increased by 20%, and that is base. So without that, it's 5% in the normal form and only 11% in the Incarnate form. But this increases it by 20% at base, so 25 and 31, letting us get very, very good crits, which is important because crits and headshots are the go-together like peanut butter and jelly. There's a YouTuber named Lazar Gaming did a great video explaining it, but basically headshot damage is double that of other body parts, right? You do double the damage on headshot. However, critical hits are double dipping in the headshot, so it does double the damage, and then the critical itself does double for being a headshot. So you are getting 4 times damage with a critical weapon on headshot, whereas a non-crit based weapon only does double damage on headshot, making it even more important to get headshots. I'm saying headshot like way too much. So again, this is the build. Obviously a horrible build, but you're going to see it doesn't matter. These guys, level 175, Corrupted Steel Path Heavy Gunners, are going to be decimated. And we're not even going to activate our Prowl yet. So first we need to build up Instant Carnon form. Activate it. And now, once it starts to full strip the enemy... Yeah, ultra budget build to say the least. I don't know about you, but obviously it's not killing them instantly, but for having 3 mods on, I'd say that's kind of insane. Now, if we activate Prowl, well, now it's gonna do even more damage. Oh yeah, see this? I think this is kind of insane. Wow, I'm so bad at getting headshots. This is with 3 mods on. Only 3 mods. So we're obviously going to show it with actual mods on. I just wanted to show how insane it is. Because if I show it with all the mods, you're going to see it kills so fast, you can't really see how much damage it does. Because if you're killing it instantly, it's just sort of, well, they're dead anyways. So we put this on. Wait, I'll go over the build real quick. Seeker, because like I said, punch through is important. Then we get fire rate multi-shot, more multi-shot. Galvanized diffusion is better here, but honestly, I use this too much. I'm used to the dodge speed, so I always use amalgam diffusion, but galvanized is much better here. Crit damage, crit chance, I don't even have this maxed out. Deadhead, because we get another headshot multiplier and bonus damage after headshots. Suppress, so that it doesn't break our invis on Ivara when we start shooting. Convulsion, pistol pestilence, so we get corrosive. You could actually replace this with a Riven. Sass chance is nice, and galvanized crosshairs for even more crit chance. So now, as you're about to see, it is very much going to decimate the enemies. And it actually does not need to be in Incarnon form to kill stuff. So once we get our stacks built up from Deadhead, you can see that it can actually kill the enemies quite well without being in the Incarnon form. It does pretty good damage as is. And we aren't even able to full strip before they die, so our green shards aren't really coming into play here. But then once we activate the Incarnon form, it is kind of insane. So the green shards are doing nothing in this scenario. The reason they're here is that once you get into high-end content like level 5,000 enemies, you're going to need armor strip. And this just fixes the armor strip problem Ivara has. So now I'll show, this video so far is very all over the place. I'm so sorry about not going in order with things, but now we'll show the Ivara. So this is the speed, as is normally. Once you activate bolts, you're actually faster than you normally are. So then, if you spawn in enemies, another way of getting a movement speed buff is the Dispatch Overdrive. On heavy attack hit, 60% movement speed for 15 seconds. So that can actually make you even faster with Ivara. So we activate this. I forgot to grab energy. Hold on. Throw this out. Hit that. And then bolts. Now we're even faster. This fixes her horrible movement speed problem, which is very nice. So now we have a bunch of synergy with all of the headshot important stuff. We have lots of corrosive from our dual Toxocyst, which with the 2 green shards lets us full strip. We have bonus headshot damage because of Prowl, giving us a, with how much strength we have right now without bolt augmented buildup, it's like a 2.54 increase. So yeah, I was now with Prowl active, oh buddy, it is gonna really kill stuff. Oh yeah, look at this, look at this. Build up our Deadhead stacks. If I can actually not, 5 shots, not in the Incarnon form. And then we activate the Incarnon form. Oh yes, everything is going to die. it will all die. And since we're always invis, we're borderline invincible. Quite nice. So yeah, that's the gist of it. Ivara, Dual Toxicist, they pair together quite nicely. I suggest you try it. You don't need the 2 green shards, but they do help here. And like I said before, if you decide to camp, you would just replace Infiltrates with Empowered Quiver, and then Molts with a different helmet for damage. And then if you want to spread viral, I would recommend Panzer Vulpaphyla, because that right there, we had no viral stacks on those enemies either. If you have 10 viral stacks, they're going to be taking 5 times the damage. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, maybe subscribe and like the video. If you didn't enjoy the video, then dislike it, so I know that it sucked ass. Adios.